You know that feeling, right? You're scrolling through your feed, you see a headline, and you just have to ask yourself, wait, is this for real? We are all swimming in this massive ocean of information, and honestly, it's getting tougher and tougher to know what's true. So today, we're going to look at a new potential ally in this fight, an AI system called TrustAgent that's been designed to take on this huge problem of online misinformation.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get a handle on just how big this misinformation problem really is. Then we'll meet our main character, this new AI watchdog, and see exactly how it works. After that, we'll peek under the hood at the tech that makes it all go, and then we'll zoom out and think about what this could mean for the future of fact-checking itself.
All right, let's kick things off with part one, the misinformation overload. Because, to really get why this solution is so important, we first have to understand why the old ways of fighting fake news just aren't working anymore.
I mean, it's a question we have to ask ourselves constantly. You see some shocking story or a wild statistic, and maybe you get that little feeling in your gut that something's not quite right. But how do you actually know for sure? The sheer amount of stuff being thrown at us and the speed it's coming is just incredible.
And let's be clear, this isn't just a small problem. It's doing real, measurable damage. This nonstop flood of questionable info chips away at our trust in pretty much everything. It creates confusion all over the world, and it can even blow up into serious diplomatic issues between countries.
And here's the real kicker. The way we've been fighting this, well, it just can't keep up. Having a human fact-check everything is great, but it's slow, it's expensive, it just doesn't scale. You can't fight a firehouse of information with a water pistol. What we really need is something that's instant, that can handle massive scale, and that's automated and reliable.
And that brings us to a whole new way of thinking about this. A new kind of watchdog, one that's built on a really smart multi-agent AI solution.
So the idea behind TrustAgent is pretty cool. It's not just one big clunky AI. Nope. It's what's called a multi-agent system. The best way to think about it is like a digital detective squad. It's a whole team of specialized AI programs, and each little agent has its own specific job to do to help crack the case.
And here's the squad in action. First up, you've got the collector agent. Its job is to go out and gather all the news, posts, and anything else from all over the web. Then the extractor agent steps in. It reads through everything and pulls out the specific checkable claims. The fact checker is really the star of the show. It takes those claims and cross-references them with trusted sources. And finally, the reporter agent puts it all together in a simple, easy-to-read report just for you.
Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but what's it actually like to use? Let's take a look at TrustAgent in action and really see what it takes to go from a sketchy headline to a fully verified report.
The whole process is designed to be super simple. As a user, you can just throw pretty much anything at it, a URL, a screenshot of a weird post, a PDF, even just a piece of text. The system just gets to work, automatically sniffing out the claims and checking them. And in just a few moments, you get back this really clear report that tells you what's up. It's basically fact-checking on demand.
But this is where it gets really, really smart. TrustAgent has something called a diplomat portal. It's a special, secure space where authorized officials can actually review and give their stamp of approval on international news. This isn't just about an AI spitting out an answer. It's about adding a trusted human layer to the process, combining the speed of AI with the authority of experts to build real trust.
So what's actually powering this digital detective squad? That brings us to our next section, the tech behind the trust. Let's take a look at the specific tools that make this whole thing possible.
So here's a look at the toolkit. The whole system runs on Python, which is a powerhouse for AI. To gather all that intel in real time, it taps into APIs from places like News API and Twitter. Then, to actually understand what it's reading, it uses natural language processing tools like Spatie. The actual fact-checking, that relies on APIs from trusted sources like Google and Wikipedia. It's basically a perfectly chosen set of tools with each one playing a specific part, just like the agents themselves.
All right, so we've seen the problem, we've seen the solution, and we've seen the tech. So, what's next? Let's talk about the future of fact-checking and what kind of real-world impact a system like this could have.
When you boil it all down, this is the mission. It's simple, but it's also huge. To give everyone, from you and me scrolling on our phones to people making major decisions, access to instant, trustworthy information. The long-term dream is to slow down the spread of misinformation, and by doing that, start to rebuild some of the trust that's been lost.
And the plans for the future are pretty ambitious. They're looking to add more languages, which is obviously a huge deal, and to make the AI's analysis even smarter and more aware of context. But what's really exciting is the plan to integrate it directly into messaging apps like WhatsApp and Telegram. Can you imagine being able to fact-check a viral message right there in your chat? That could be an absolute game changer.
So, we're left with this one last really big question. We're in a constant fight for truth online, and systems like TrustAgent show us a possible way forward, using this powerful technology not to confuse us but to arm us with facts. So you have to wonder, in this fight, could AI end up being our most powerful ally?